Back in 6th grade, I once asked a girl out to the school dance, only to be rejected because she said I was too short and my eyes were too small. Ever since that day, in the back of my mind, I have always held a tiny grudge against my Asian genetics for what happened to me that day, just to find out that 15 years later, suddenly everyone is raving about Japanese genes. But besides the point, I have never, in my 27 years of life, ever felt a level of disrespect as I did back then until today. In today's video, we are about to witness one of the most disrespectful games of Teamfight Tactics I have ever had a chance to witness, and I hope today you will join me on this adventure in this gameplay by none other than YBY1, who is arguably rank 3 in the world, right behind Tidal and Dish Soap, an absolute Giga Chad from the Vietnam server. And as you can see on the top right, he's playing in Project PvE, which is the project I've been fucking losing sleep on, by the way, for the past like 6-7 days. This is why I haven't been posting as frequently on YouTube as I would have liked. I'm talking 16 to 20 hour days, dude. Like, it's crazy how much I have to make sure I can maintain the bot, make sure it's working properly, but also making sure that scores are aggregating properly and all that jazz. If you're competing in this thing, you know how much of a pain in the ass it's been. If you don't know, it's a ladder grind portion right now. Top players from all over the world are partaking in this. And just to set the scene a little bit, let me go over all the players just to give them their flowers. Getty, 1524 LP from the Philippines server. Dao Chomp, 1260 LP from Vietnam. I believe Dragop 1200 LP from EU West. Lemons is 1550 LP from Vietnam. Requiem is this PBE name that's actually Ice TFT, rank 1 of North America. Not during the lull period when no one's playing the game. No, this is a new player who is really, I honestly think he's kind of a new player. Really recently taking the rank 1 spot. I've not heard of this guy before, and I've been in the scene for quite a long time now. Very interesting player that I have a lot of eyes on. Shrooms as well, 1300 LP from EU West, and from the TFT Terra, 1270 LP from EU West. Going to our 2-1 augment selection real quick, we've gotten a golden Nico. It is gold subscription encounter, cloak, rod tier. We are thinking about playing AP. Patience is a virtue, good for something, and table scraps. Table scraps is a new augment. We can talk about it real quick, but basically, after the next 2 carousels, you get to gain 1 unit that was not taken and its component, plus you get a gold. It's fine. I don't think it's particularly amazing by any means. It just feels like it's supposed to be an augment that is going to cap you a bit higher just for the payoff of not being as strong in the early game, but the payoff later just feels really poor. So not a big fan of it, to be completely honest, but I guess it's okay. It's just in my head that when I think about like payoff later because it's week early, silver pumping up just seems way better in comparison. I don't know if silver pumping up is actually in the game. I think it is, but I mean, I could be mistaken. But it just feels bleh, to be completely honest. Patience is a virtue can also be fine as well. It kind of depends on your playstyle a little bit, but I know the meta right now, so in case you don't know, at the time of recording this is the first full day after the sort of final patch of PBE has been deployed, and they've just like locked in everything. So this is basically what we're getting onto live, like give or take a couple of few like minor changes. So people have already been developing their reads on the meta, and right now the big conversation in North American servers is reroll meta. Reroll seems to be the strongest right now, but I'm not 100% convinced of it just yet, but that does seem to be the take that everybody has right now. So Patience of Virtue could be good by some means if you want to play into that reroll line. And again, if it's a reroll heavy meta, you could definitely take it here and it would probably make a lot of sense. But right now, and especially because I know YBY1's playstyle, which is very flex TFT, I definitely see him wanting to take this gold sub and this economy that he's going to get in the early game and push himself to 8 and 9 and try to find those 2-star legendaries, because they're not that far away when we're already in gold sub plus a golden Nico sitting in our inventory. So I think rerolling left end right here can be fine, but again, I can totally see the argument for patience is a virtue. So let's see what he does here. He does scout the lobby a little bit just to see what everyone else is doing. He does see an over encumbered street demon board. I don't think that affects his decision making by any means. We get season desist, and we also get silver spoon. Season desist, Vi hero augment, new augment as well. Basically, she just like gains attack speed, and then her ability dashes to the farthest enemy within 3 hexes, and then she stuns them, and then she deals physical bonus damage. It's fine. 6 Vanguard, I believe, is the board, but it's like a Hodge IE type shit, and like we don't have that type shit, so there you go. And Silver Spoon doesn't make sense. We don't have a board that's strong enough to win streaks, so we are gonna go with good for something. Also, I apologize if I'm talking a bit quietly. It is 4 in the morning as I am recording this because I'm watching the Project PvE stuff just to make sure that shit is running well, but also my roommates are all basically asleep except for one of them. Actually, funny enough, the developer on Project PvE, I heard him walking around. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but anyways, With that being said, YBY1 decides to level here to level 4. I believe he does that because he thinks his board is weak enough to still lose, but also just people can just kill units on his board here, and that'll give him some of his economy back pretty fast. So I could see that just getting a little bit of extra good for something value. Obviously, we're not going to be slamming anything here. And I think right now the game plan is just chill for now, see what kind of units we natural. If we see anything that's within like sort of an AP reroll line, then maybe we could think about it. But realistically speaking, I think the game plan right now is going to be trying to play around some sort of strategist AP flex. Now, the most common variation of the board, just because I know the set is very new and this might not be like news, or this might be new news to some of you. Does that make sense? Is news always new? I don't know. No, because there's old news. But anyways, sorry, I got sidetracked. When it comes to AP Flex, the strategist line is the most common, and it is usually played around Ziggs and any duo carry, the common denominator being Yuumi. Yuumi is an Anima Squad AMP strategist 3-cost unit, and her traits just fit so nicely into the board, so I could definitely see that he wants to try to lean into that line if he's going to try to play standard here. He does something very interesting as well here. When I first watched this video, I thought he was just trying to make his strongest board here, which would have been Gragas and Senna as well, but he actually makes a board that is just strong enough to win, but also because good for something drops on average 50% for every unit dies, like 1 gold, right? Sorry, I phrased that very poorly, but because he knows that, on average, he knows that in this spot, as long as 2 units die here and he loses the fight, he will make 20. So I thought that was really smart. He still builds a board that's strong enough to kill a couple units here and preserve a little bit of HP, but he still loses to try and garner that value. Now, on Carousel, it is very obviously that he's actually going to go for a specific component, and that being Tier. Tier is really obvious in this spot because when you're playing around the AP Flex line with Ziggs and Annie in particular, and I believe that's the strongest variation, someone can correct me, but that line eats Tiers like it's breakfast, like it's some deranged ex-girlfriend who wants nothing except your absolute misery. It is incredible how many, it's just for some context, Annie's BIS is blue buff Shojin. That's already 3. And then you got Ziggs, who wants a mana item himself, 4. And then on top of that, the 4-cost strategist frontliner, Nico, actually really likes Val. So 5. And honestly, why not just throw Redemption on there? 6. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can have so many tiers. You cannot have enough tiers in this line. And by the way, you want Shred, because this Nico probably doesn't want to be holding Spark and Sunfire because her traits don't really provide her that much resistance. Probably want to shiv 7. So, like, honestly, take as many fucking tiers as you can in this line because you can have so many. Again, I do think this is sort of going to be the main game plan for now. Our components really are screaming towards like an AP lean, but we will see, because I think like neutrals will kind of give us a bit more direction here, and then we can kind of start to understand where we're going. But again, I really do think it's going to be some type of variation of, Ziggs and Annie. You could also be thinking, we do have a little bit of Divinicore in here as well. So we could be thinking about the Vex line as well. But actually, at the time of recording, this Vex is actually bugged. So I believe that if her target is like more than 4 hexes away, she actually like will cast and her ability won't hit the unit, or she'll like just stand still or something. There's some weird shit going on with her ability right now. So you're actually not gonna try to play around Vex. You totally could in this line. You totally should actually, if anything, from the spot. But knowing that it's bugged, it's just not that great in this particular spot. But that's the only thing that would like hold you away from it. We get the Yuumi as well. As you can see, he's putting it on the right side here, so he is thinking about holding it just to make sure that he has it. But it looks like we get a bunch of tank components here, a Warmugs and Gargoyles, really, if we're thinking about anything here. Zeri as well in this shop that came up, which is nice. But we don't have any items for Zeri. And despite Zeri being one of the best 4-costs right now in the meta, actually, with Zeri Bastions, it's like 6 Bastions Zeri, turn your brain off, super brain dead, easy comp, requires double Ginsu Gunblade. So it's a very item particular line. You really do want to make sure that you do have Ginsu Gunblade, but it's also just too far away from our current spot that I don't think that we're going to be playing around the Zeri. He does actually preemptively slam the blue buff a little early on. I would have liked to have seen him not slam it so early, just to make sure to see what we could gotten on Krugs first. But also maybe in, as we'll see here actually on 3-2 here, Pandora's item actually pops up. And actually, I remember when I was first watching this VOD, Pandora's items was like a very like standout augment to me. I was like, oh cool, we have this very early. We could just Pandora's the components here. Sure, we wanted to like stabilize ideally on 3-2 and like preserve our HP to get to level 8 and start playing the game then. But to be completely honest, like Pandora's into like a game like gigabits Zeri just seems so good to me. So I remember watching this thinking like that is probably the correct play. But as you can tell by the way I'm talking, it actually does not end up being the correct play here. So I want you to guess here. We also have Healing Orb as well and Restart Mission. And let's talk about Healing Orb a little bit too. This augment has been away for a pretty long time here, but its identity kind of revolves around win streaking. And more specifically, it's around very strong tanks and the damage to back it up. Basically what ends up happening is that if you have the damage to back it up with a strong tank in front, the tank never dies. Right, so especially during stage 2, if you have like a 2-star tank and like some sort of a backliner that can like pump enough DPS that units are dying near the tank, that tank will solo tank and just keep living because it's the only thing that's going to garner value at a healing orb. But this gets worse and worse as the game progresses, as you can guess, and it just doesn't really make a lot of sense in our current spot. So Restart Mission is also interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of it here, but I could totally see it being a thing. If I was playing in this spot, honestly, I think I would have taken Restart Mission. But let's go back to this real quick. I'm going to rewind here because I want you to see. Did you see what YBY1 saw? Did you catch it? I'll do it one more time. It was very, very quick. Ready? There. 2 players are already leading Zeri. One player has Ginsu's Rod, the other has Ginsu's Gunblade. And this one actually also has branching out into Rapid Fire. He sees that the Zeri line is way too congested. So he's thinking, okay, does not make sense for me to take Pandora's and force it as well. I'm going to do something else. So he ends up saying, fuck that. I am not going to do with Zeri thing. He ends up skipping these 2 augments here, which I believe was Fire Sale and something else. We already have an eco augment, so Fire Sale doesn't make a lot of sense here. I'm going to try to pause it on just so I can see here. Item Collector. Item Collector, I think, is fine, to be completely honest with you. I'm actually a bit surprised he ends up taking Restart Mission here. I know he's looking for stability, but I thought this was a really crazy take here. He has a lot of components. So actually, if you took Item Collector here, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's fine. Fire Cell, again, doesn't make a lot of sense. We already have enough money from our first augment, so whatever. Well, I guess to be fair, though, we have to equip the items to get Item Collector value. So actually, I can see the conflict now. So I guess it's just Restart Mission, and he ends up taking it. And this is sort of the first disrespectful thing of the game, which is, look at his fucking shop. That's disgusting. He didn't do that on purpose. Okay, Mortdog just happened to bless him with an Elise 2 in his shop here. That fits very well, by the way. He has 3 Dynamo in here, 2 Bruiser with the Gragas and the Darius. This is just disrespectful. Not that he did it on purpose, but this is like a prelude. You ever watch Hunter x Hunter? Like, you ever watch, you know that scene with Crollo, who like, he's doing like the whole symphony thing, he's doing like his whole prelude thing on top of like a massacre of like the city below, and then like it's just sort of like the opening into like this whole like deranged sequence of understanding. It's the prelude basically of like the Phantom Troop. This is the prelude or the foreshadowing of just disrespectful behavior for like the rest of the game. And this is where like things like begin to slowly heat up. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but it will get there, trust me. Anyways, looks like we are sitting here with this 3 Dynamo board with the Gragas and the Darius 2. Again, this is a really, I want to say it genuinely is a high roll Restart Mission. Normally, it really does not look like this from my experience, but he's chilling because he has now a blue buff holder, a Morello holder, which is great. That being Elise 2, which Elise 2, by the way, very fantastic. 2-star 3-cost unit. Excuse me. She's one of the best ones that you can actually hit during stage 3. So the fact that he hit this with blue buff and Morello, great slam, by the way. Really fantastic stuff. By the way, I say great slam here because Morello, in case you don't know, anti-heal is very absent in a lot of the kits. The only units that have anti-heal in their kits are Annie and Renekton. So if you don't have either of those, you're not going to get either. YBY1 ends up taking a glove here. I think it's fine. It looks like a guard breaker to me. But that is a problem. If you don't have Renekton or Annie on your board, you will not get anti-heal. So securing it early, right? Morello, Sunfire, whatever it may be, is really good. So as we see here as well, he's level 7, really rich, by the way. Super just healthy in terms of economy. But ends up fighting a Zed here as well, and this Zed unit has been going up and down in terms of like the rankings, in my opinion. He's very fluctuating because I'm pretty sure Riot is like, we gotta somehow get this unit to work, because he was like dog shit on day 1, and now he's starting to see some level of play, which I think is great. Not enough for me to really think that he's like amazing, but I don't think he's like nearly as bad as he used to be. So I like that YB1's already trying to flex around it a little bit. Guard breaker slam as well with the gargoyles onto the Gragas too. I think that's fine. Nothing particularly amazing. I do think the Cho'Gath unit has suffered through a lot of nerfs now, so I'm not actually sure if it's better than like a Darius 2, but obviously Cho'Gath is gonna be better than Darius 2, so we're just gonna hold it on our bench for now. That seems fine to me. I think we're cruising as well. There's no reason to really do anything here to try and strengthen the power of our board. You can see here he's positioning very well for against the weak side of the strongest player in his rotation. So I think that's really smart, because no matter who he rotates into, I think he was already kind of determined that he'll win against everybody else. That's why he was like specifically looking at that one nitro board, and he wanted to make sure that he was positioning very well against that one nitro player so that he could secure his streak and, you know, maintain his economy no matter what. We are 4 streaking here, 60 gold on level 7 on 3-6. We are turbo fucking rich. The spot is looking immaculate now. We did a great job stabilizing during stage 3 when we lost all of stage 2 to try and garner more economy. And our spot, this is like classic, really good stuff TFT. So really great stuff. Obviously included a high roll, but still. Very, very well done. Very well executed in terms of everything else, especially the positioning on that last round. Going into neutrals here, I actually don't remember what he gets here. He gets a dead fish through the fucking orb, another Gragas 2 on bench, a lot of random shit. You'll notice, by the way, this set, a lot of random shit happens on a lot of turns. Here, I'm going to slow down the playback speed because I think this rolldown's really, really nice. I think there's a lot of good stuff that you can take away from here, and a lot of turns these days, there's so much to do. So, anyways, rolls, find the Samira, another roll against Zed pair, and then I believe he rolls once more, finds the Z2, and I think a lot of low elo players will look at this spot and keep rolling because they want to like try to find something else. But this spot looks really good. He has a Z2, he's a secondary carry on top of his Elise 2, who's going to be your technical primary carry just because she has 3 items. But all your units are upgraded. All your units is looking solid. There's like, you can put the Senna over the Shaco, you can put another Gragas too if you really wanted to onto your board. Your board is super solid here, and I think YBY1 does a really good job of teetering the line of making sure that you roll enough to be stable for the stage, but you don't roll too much because you're too tunnel vision on a specific comp or idea. So I really, really love the way that he approached this, and I thought that this was fantastic. We're gonna put the player back at 1.75, and let's see him shuffling stuff around. He has a Shaco in there as well. I believe Gragas too. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. He puts in the Divinicore with the Ross as well. So I think that's totally fine. He gets an IE and a Starax in order to slam here onto the Zed, which is really great. And our board's looking solid. We're 4 streaking 52 gold. We're not the healthiest. 74 is not like amazingly healthy, but it's strong. It's enough that like we could teeter and think about potentially just going fast 9 off of this particular board. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of it just because I do know how contested the strategist like Zig's Annie line is, but we will see what YB1 decides to do. Here on our 4-2 augments here, we get a hacked augment. Just, you know, I mean, it speaks for itself. You know what the fuck's going on here. We get bulky buddies. We also get big friend 1 and item grab bag as our options here. Or rather, I should rephrase that. Bulky buddies or the double pair. You get the idea. But looking at this, I think Bulky Buddies is definitely better than the other two. I think item grab bag here is really awkward. You can definitely get a lot of items that don't feel too hot. Evan Shroud will feel a little bit not great. It's fine, but it's not amazing. I don't know how married you are to the Z unit, but maybe play around the Renekton eventually. But if you get like a Sunfire Cape, you're kind of fucked. If you get another AP item, it's really fucked. Like, it's just, there's so many items here that are not great here. And this item grab bag augment in general just doesn't feel amazing. So reeling right side here definitely makes a lot of sense. Big friend also, we can't get that much value out of it as well. Reroll and we get, I believe this is climb the ladder, and then this is glass cannon. So glass cannon is fine as well, but we don't have anybody that can really get that much value out of it. We have IE Starax, so we're gonna play a melee unit, and it's not gonna get the glass cannon value. So not a big fan. And climb the ladder is great for vertical comps, but we're playing very flex here. So maybe if we're gonna pivot into the Divinicore, actually, it's not bad. Divinicore is not bad here. You can play into Vex plus the Renekton, and I could see it, but the pivot is far. So this provides very little immediate value. So I would actually still be leaning bulky here, but you get a lot of rolls here. So and I don't hate this by any means. So sure, you could sit on it, but it's not great enough. I think it's actually pretty close here. But he re-rolls here, and then he gets, this is a new one. So I believe this one, what's this one called? I believe it's called, it's an Ascension. I believe it's Divine Ascension. But basically, after 12 seconds, I wrote it down because I can't remember. After 12 seconds, your Divinicore champions ascend, gaining 20% HP, 30% attack speed. You also gain a Ross and Morgana, and do you get a gold? No, you do not get a gold. But that's what we're currently looking at. And I think Divinicore actually makes a lot of sense at this current spot, but we're still very far from a lot of Divinicore units. We're missing the Vex, we're missing the Renekton, who are going to be our main primary item holders here. And you should never pivot into a board unless it's stronger than your current board. And right now, if we found a Vex 1 and a Renekton 1, yes, we are rich, but we're going to have to roll deep as fuck to find those units, especially 2-starred. Because, again, Vex 1, Renekton 1 is not stronger than Z2, Elise 2, at least on our current spot. So it's such an economic investment into the Divinicore line that I just don't see it being that fruitful. So I would actually reroll the left side here as well. I just don't think it's amazing from his current spot. Let's see if I believe he rerolls right side here. He hits Pandora's Health as wealth. Disrespectful decision number 2. He rerolls left side, gets big grab back here immediately. By the way, his eyes like lit up when he saw Pandora's and Health as wealth. I actually can't see his eyes very well, but if I could, that's what it would have done. He takes this. This is disrespectful as shit. He takes this because why? I want you to think. Why does he take Pandora's bench in this current spot? He takes it because he's already identified his win condition. His win condition is a 3-star forecast. That's his win condition. The reason he can do that is because he has a lot of money. He's already level 8, and he can start rolling to try to find these 2-star forecasts to start immediately rolling them and provide value for himself. And he knows that his board is relatively pretty stable for at least stage 4. Stage 5, we're going to run into some issues, but for stage 4, not bad at all. So he's already, you can see him smirking, by the way, at the bottom right. I apologize, he's covered by the name of the shit. I gotta move that later. But he is already smirking. He already knows, like, his spot is so good now because it is unbelievable. Like, I think what was crazy when I first watched this was that he knew immediately. I know the video is at 1.75x, but he knew he didn't even hesitate. He was like, boom, got it, locked in, win con, found it, and he just immediately started rolling. By the way, look at his bench. Do you see this? Look at his bench. He has 7 vexes. Yes, the unit is bugged, by the way. Who fucking cares? He's 7 vexes. A vex 3 is still a vex 3. You can just front roll that shit and it won't bug out. It'll be fine. He is already 2 off. He's 1 off. Excuse me. He's 1 off of vex 3. And he does something really interesting here. And I can't fully understand it. I don't know if it's because he thinks that people are going to view his bench and then going to deny him so fast. But he locks the shop here. He dead ass locks the shop here. And I think he does that because he's trying to feint the other players from noticing that he's actually a lot closer to vex 3 than they realize. He's 1 off away. But nobody in the lobby knows that, right? Maybe some people are prudent enough to see that he has a dupe and they think he's at least 2 away. He's 1 away, which is crazy. Finds the 82 here, by the way. Finds another Z and finds another vex. Oh, sorry, that's the same vex. Bro, look at the spot. Actually, I apologize. Was that Z in the... I'm going to rewind. I'm so sorry. Okay, he finds Z and vex inside of this shop. So he locked it for that reason. Like, dude. Anyways, sorry. I digress. The point being, though, is that now he knows at this point it's basically guaranteed. So he's not even going to try to hide it anymore. He's going to buy the units. He's going to sit on his bench. Nobody can stop him. No, with Pandora's, nobody can stop him. At this rate, he will hit no matter what. He doesn't even have to roll to hit the units. He doesn't care that he's losing in this spot. He'll lose for like maybe a fight or 2 and that's it. And it's chill as fuck. Did he lose? Yeah, he almost won. Like, what the fuck? Like, dude. I think finding this line and identifying it so quickly and then being able to act on it so fast is so crazy. It's so... And this is, by the way, if you're like... You're watching this and you're just like, that's not that disrespectful. He just made a good play. You know? He found a really good win condition. Already hit it, by the way. He's already... If he duped, he would hit the vex 3 here. He's not in a rush, by the way. Disrespectful. He could just dupe now, just call it. No. It's not good enough Y by 1. He is going to sit here, sit on this, and wait to make sure that he gets both of them. Okay? Disrespectful behavior. And this is, by the way, the tip of the iceberg. We're not even halfway there yet. So, folks, I want you guys to lock the fuck in. This game is already has written itself. All right, we've already sort of seen. By the way, there it is, another Z. Where look at this fucker smirking. By the way, he's so happy. I'm gonna hold on. Let me move this out of the way here. Just look at this guy smirking. He's already just like so. He knows like it's done. He's already completed the mission. The mission is over. The game is done. Who the fuck can beat two 3-star forecasts? Unbelievable. And there it is. Vex 3 and Z3. He's already... It's 5-1. If I scout my lobby and it's 5-1 and I see Z3 Vex 3, I'm losing my shit. I'm breaking my desk. I'm gonna get up, fart, and then I'm gonna fucking knee something and break my keyboard in half. because this is fucking ridiculous that this is his spot. He could genuinely AFK in this spot and probably win out. That's how good his spot is. And that's, by the way, I'm gonna put this on 2x speed because at this point, I'm sure you're not even watching for like strategic insight. But like, no, the game's over. We're done. All right. But YPY1 is not done, and that's what makes it so ridiculous. We're level 9 now. Okay, we have level 9 now, and we have gotten the net in, and we're slowly stacking it up. Why is that important? It's not, but I want you to take note of it. Look at his bench, because now he knows. He does not even have to think about the game anymore at this point, right? So now he's saying, I'm not done. Fuck everyone. I'm going to go for a 3-star 5 cost on top of everything else. He doesn't have to do that. He could just call it here. He could sit back, relax. He could switch scenes so that it literally just looks like this. He could look like this and just talk to his chat and have a great parasocial time. But no, he doesn't do that. He says, let me lock the fuck in. Let me give you guys a show. And he's going to keep this game going. And it's so ridiculous that he just does that. Like, if it were me in this spot, I would just be talking to chat. Maybe ripping up some cards, if you know what I'm talking about, some TFT cards. Cool project, by the way. I would just be chilling with chat. I would just be sitting here. I would just be fucking, dude, I'd be picking my nose and wiping my snot in my ass crack and just calling it a day. Giggling with chat, talking about girls. But YBY1's like, dude, fuck that gooner shit. I'm about to lock the fuck in and give you guys a fucking spectacle. So right now, as you can tell, the game has still been going, and it's gonna go for a while. It's stage 5, dude. It's stage fucking 5. All right, I can glaze even harder, but I mean, realistically speaking, I'm drooling and the floor is wet. There are caution signs around me. I don't even know who put those there. There's only so much I can talk about. Here's the thing, by the way. Did you notice what he just did this round and what he's been kind of doing the past couple rounds? He's trying to make the game longer. Do you understand what I'm saying here? He is trapping his Zed just to make sure that it doesn't kill so fast. He wants his units to die. He wants the opponents to start killing off some of his units. Look at his front line. Look how shit his front line is. He's literally saying, kill everything that my front line has to offer because 1, I have good for something, so you can give me a lot of money, so I can find a lot of 5 costs. And then 2, I want you to kill as much as possible, and my Zed will clean everything up, my Vex will clean everything up. It's a 3-unit loss every single time for you. Because I want money, and I want to fucking find my shit. Disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful. And he's just... I think part of the reason why I wanted to review this shit is because I wish it was me. I'm sitting here jerking off, struggling because of what Ziggs and Annie, and I'm fucking... Like, I'm picking my nose and wiping my eyes with my boogers. Like, it is so sad because I just want to be in this spot, but it's never me. It's never me. It's never me, man. But it's fine. It's whatever. Gold sub, by the way. He's gonna keep rolling here, trying to find some upgrades as well. Because again, we do want to eventually find our shit. Dude, like, I guess this guy's like just giggling for fun, man. Like, whatever. I mean, he's fucking top 3 in the world for a reason, yeah? Agreed. Anyways, we're gonna keep watching the game here, and it's just what an absolute spectacle. By the way, we see Requiem going 8th here, which is really unfortunate. I know I have him at the very beginning, but Ice TFT. Again, if anybody has any information on this guy, by the way, please let me know about him because I don't know anything about him. Shrooms going in 7th, by the way. Shrooms, again, I believe he was the 1300 LP US. Getty going in 6th, 1524 LP from the Philippine server. Lemons going in 5th. A top 4 has been secured. Lemons, by the way, 1550 LP Vietnam. And by the way, just there's so many good players in this thing. Absolutely incredible players. And like some... It's the Vietnam server. It's the Philippines server. North America is on. Dude, get your fucking head out of your ass for a second here, man. If you can hit 1500 LP on any server, you are a beast. Any of these fake servers, fake regions, we have a player playing from the Middle East server, which is a joke of a server. We're not even gonna try to pretend it's a good server. It is dog shit. Their Masters players are probably like Emerald, like 1 players probably. From North America. They are absolute dog shit at this game. But people had the audacity to flame this guy who's playing in this tournament. He is 2500 LP. Let that number sink. 2500. That is insanity. Because he cannot make a single mistake. And yet he is still partaking in this, and people have the audacity to flame him. None of you watching this could hit 2500 LP. Maybe I don't know if digital LP is here, probably. But like, come the fuck on. You like get your head out of your ass. Anyway, sorry. Let me go back to the game here real quick because I noticed it's gonna end soon. So Pump the Tear goes in third here, right? Let's focus up. Let's focus on the disrespect. Why do I want during this time while I'm glazing the Middle East? It seems that he is now looking for any 3-star 5 gods, yeah? So let's look at his shit. He has Urgot 2 sitting on his bench. He has Kabuko 2 sitting, just trying to make sure that he can reroll those into something. He's starting to lose rounds now because this guy has decided that Z3 and Vex 3 is not enough. Look at this. Look at this. I think most people in this spot would sell everything. Fucking Zac 3, hands up. They would do it. Dude, he's one off. If he just, he's literally one off. You can just sell his shit and roll for it. This guy is picky. He said Zac 3, not good enough. Fuck a Zac 3. I want something else. I want something better. Something that potentially fits on my board. You know what this guy does? He says, fuck this shit. I'm going for Renekton 3. And then he hits it. So guess what? Now his board looks so unbelievably good. And then he says, this is still not enough. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep rolling. Because I want more. Give me another 3-star 5 cost. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm going to fuck everybody. A 3-star, 2 3-star 4 cost was not enough. A single 3-star 5 cost was not enough. Level here, by the way, absolute fucking ridiculous behavior. But he decides to level here because he's close enough that he could maybe hit the Garen 3 here. And he's trying to roll on like 10 odds. Really close, is not able to find it, but that's okay. Let's see what this Renekton 3 does, by the way. Just look at this fucking... Dude, look at his HP bar. It's black. Oh my god. And then that's it, man. That is the game, and YB1 goes in first with a 3-star Renekton and a basically one-off 3-star Garen. Obscene. Insane. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you guys so much. I will be back to do more VOD reviews because I do enjoy doing this as much. And hopefully I'll find some more that are not just like fun high roll games, but a lot more serious and more analytical ones in the future as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, guys, and happy climbing.